First of all, Deepak is such a nice chairman of the meetings. He doesn't come and push us off the stage. But I have a timer that is on my iPhone. Any of the future speakers want to use it, please let me know. Good. Another, I guess, on the note, is beautiful sunshine out there. I think I'm talking to the male audience mostly. Come on, guys, don't be so shy. Show some leadership, learn from the ladies, and show some legs. Sorry, they don't look much better than they should. Okay, so we are going to talk about technology and future of spirituality. God 2.0 question mark. As you notice, and you know well, the name of the conference is Sages and Scientists. So what the hell does a technology guy have to do in here? Since technology is the application of scientific knowledge for practical purposes, I just demonstrated to you application of technology on my iPhone. But since I noticed the wonderful sages and the wonderful scientists and those who cross over had all these arguments yesterday, I like to show you a simple technological approach to the problem. I was in Switzerland a couple of weeks ago, skiing in Zermatt, and as I was passing a couple of skiers next to Matterhorn, I wanted somebody to take my picture. Many of them passed by. Two people I felt really close to out of total randomness. I went to them. It was a younger man, 20-something, and his uncle. So I asked them to take my picture. They asked me to take their pictures. We became friends. We started to ski together. We became really good friends. We had lunch together. Over lunch, the young man started out of the blue talk about how spiritual his father is and how he thinks that he should be a lot more spiritual, and he's moving towards that, even though he's in marketing and high-tech advertising. As he was saying this, his uncle said, I'm a skeptic of all this nonsense. None of these things are out there. I only believe in reality. He wasn't as articulate as our resident skeptic, Michael, who was very articulate. But he said, frankly, I don't believe in any of this. The younger man said, come on, you should believe it. I have some feelings. I tried to intervene using technology. I asked both of them. I said, have you ever had a feeling that when you think of someone close to you, maybe your mother, after a while, she uses the technology, the cell phone, and calls you? The young man immediately says, absolutely. Whenever I think of my mom, within a few minutes she calls me. The uncle says, nonsense. She always is calling you. You're mama's boy. As we are having this argument, the young man's phone starts calling, starts ringing. He answers it. It's not his mama. It's his grandma. And the grandma says, I'm trying to get hold of your uncle. Tell the damn boy to answer the phone. Pass him the phone. Obviously, Mr. Skeptic is totally speechless, and he says, well, this was lucky. So we are going to talk about God 2.0. Let me quote Voltaire. He says, if God did not exist, it would be necessary to invent him. And Arthur C. Clarke says, it may be that our role on this planet is not to worship God, but to create him. So you start to wonder, isn't there already a God? Is there a God 1.0? What's wrong? What are the problems with God 1.0? Why do we need to invent a God? Well, where do I start? Many of us in this audience who might have Abrahamic religious background, Judaism, Christianity, Islam, which is a large percent of the world population, know from the book of Genesis that God that is described is not exactly the omnipotent, wonderful God. He worked only 6 days and had to take a rest. Kind of lazy God, right? Not too much energy. He's a little bit of mischievous, I don't want to say sadistic, but mischievous God that comes and invents the tree of knowledge, gives the brain to Adam and Eve, but tells them, you should not use your brain and enjoy the fruits of tree of knowledge. And is a kind of judgmental God, punishes and does all sorts of horrible things, kicks them out of heaven. Now, interestingly enough, we refer to God as Him. Just think about it. Why? Adam was kind of the lazy bum. He sat around in the heaven, just didn't do much. It was Eve who was curious, who had an exploration kind of desire, went out there and looked, learning something. And instead of being rewarded for her curiosity and learning something, she was punished, was told that she would suffer the labor pains, and has to be subordinate to the male gender. I will go back to Voltaire again, who says, if God created us in His own image, we have more than reciprocated. We really have created God 1.0 in our own image, what we think of it. And guess what? All the prophets were males. Have you ever wondered why we don't have any women rabbis, no woman pope, no female ayatollah? How could a just God forget half of the population? Laura talked about many of the issues related to our family roots, the education, the training that we get from childhood. But I believe this is a major issue. So if we decide, since we have technology, we are going to apply scientific methods to go and create a God, God 2.0, how do we know it's possible? Well, technology has a track record, quite a good track record, of realizing the mythological figures. We all have heard about the flying carpet. Guess what? Through the magic of technology, helicopter was created. There was Icarus. Again, through the magic of technology. If you don't know of Jetman, he's a dear friend of mine, captain of Swiss Air Force, Yves Rossi, amazing guy. Has built these wings, attached 4 jet engines, flies at 200 miles per hour. Go on YouTube and check for Jetman. It would blow your mind. Technology has been quite good on other things. Crystal ball, looking through that, you could see the past, present, and the future. Well, it's the iPad plus global webcams which are all over the world. You can use your iPad connected to the internet, look at what's going on. Any part of the world, you can look at what's in Tokyo right now, what's happening in France, what's happening in India. You can look at the past pictures, and soon, applying some of the Web 3.0 stuff, you would be able to use that same technologies to predict the future a lot more accurately. So we are almost getting there. Now, we had a lot of discussions and wonderful talk about cosmic consciousness. Lots of controversy, right? It's a thing called cloud computing. What's so difficult to believe that you can have this thing in the clouds that synchronizes all of us in certain knowledge, certain things? If my iPhone and my iPad and my Mac or my PC can all stay connected through iCloud, if my aunt, quoting Michael, lost the iPhone, the cloud hasn't gone away. The cloud's still there, the knowledge is there, the phone stops working. Just because the receiver is not there doesn't mean the whole system has disappeared. Well, let's get to some more meaty stuff. God created human beings, or man, not human beings, man, in his own image. You know where I'm going with it, right? The internet. It kind of actually, if you look at the internet map, how all of the computers with all of the nodes and supernodes are connected together, kind of looks like Cosmos. What is internet? Omnipotent, speaks all languages, is not a lazy bum, works 24/7, never sleeps, knows everything that we have done, knows which one of us have been good, which one of us went to the gambling side, the porn side, even knows some of our intentions, knows that I'm going to go to China in May, has seen, reading my emails with my friends, with my wife, what some of my intentions are, already has a huge knowledge of, huge database of all of our intentions. And if we compare surfing the net to praying, the more you surf the net, the more Groupon coupons you get, better deals, your wishes come true. Not such a bad God, totally non-judgmental. You can do private surfing, go to any website you want, forgives you. It's actually such a good God. Redemption is already provided to you. You don't even need to ask for forgiveness. It says, hey, I gave you the good and the bad, the good website, the bad website. Who says it's good or bad? You like it, enjoy it. But is that really all that there is to it? That's it, God 2.0. We did a physical manifestation of it, and everything is fine. And that's what the universe is about, physical manifestation, realization. Because I have an engineering background, because we know technology, that's it. Absolutely not. Let me just pose a very simple question. Where the hell did all of these innovative ideas come from? Do you think we sat around in our brains, conjured up all of these ideas? Well, let me share with you one thing that really was quite profound. I've had many of these profound experiences, but one of them was 1988. I had a dream. In my dream, I was reading Wall Street Journal, but the paper was kind of unusual. It was not regular paper. Remember, this is 1988. It was all colorful, beautiful paper. It had a special touch to it. I was reading on front page an article about automotive industry. And there was a little ad from Honda, the Japanese automobile car company. As soon as I put my finger on it, that ad became alive and served the video to me. I woke up, I was really shaken, and from that point on, I had to go and build that iPad in 1989. I put an amazing team of people together. It was the basis of my third company. My first company was amazing success. Second one was just multi-billion dollars. I quit all of those to go and work on this project, hired some of the best engineers, created a product, 20 years. See, my timer is saying wrap it up in 3 minutes. Very easy. By 1991, when we introduced the product, it was called the Momenta computer. Apple has done a phenomenal job to design an iPhone or iPad with one button. Momenta computer had no buttons. The user interface was so much ahead of its time because I had learned it from my dream. There are rumors that next generation of Windows, either 8 or 9, might implement the same kind of user interface we developed. And we put more than $40 million into it and lost every penny of that, and I got fired. It was just way ahead of its time. But that was an amazing act of consciousness. Planted something in my head to get me to develop this, get fired, and after I was fired, I went on a path of searching for spirituality and totally changed the direction of my life. So the next 7 companies I started all had a significant contribution on bringing the world closer together. Talking about spirituality a little bit more, I met Deepak a couple years ago at UN. I had never done meditation in my life. I knew self-hypnosis, and I had been able to hypnotize myself, go and have dental surgery with no anesthesia. But he pushed me to go and do meditation, and he said amazing things will happen. We don't have time to go through some of the things that have happened to me since I followed some of his ideas. He introduced me to some amazing gurus. I have dabbled a little bit with healing. I've had 7 or 8 victims, friends of mine, who have been willing to be the guinea pigs to see whether they get healed or not. Some of them might be in the audience. I have learned many, many things, thanks to Deepak putting me on that path. And it's not that difficult to do many of these things. If an engineer who is not scholarly like many of you scientists, who does not have a lot of background like many of you sages, who is this fat and ugly and bald and short, can do it, you can all do it. Thank you very much.
Kamran is very modest. He's started many, many successful companies. He was at one time with Steve Jobs as well, and connected to that family right now. And What he hasn't told you is that he has philanthropic programs educating children in India through technology, and also in Africa and also in Latin America. He's one of the, I met him at the UN because the UN had a function for philanthropists and private citizens who are really contributing to the enlightenment of the world. So thank you, Kamran, very much.